takes over fake debates. Authentic truth can't underestimate. SB and Sean breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound. Unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up. Over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live. SB Talk Sports, Sean Will. Real takes over fake debates. It is Monday. Sean, how are you doing today, brother?
Doing good, SB. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to everyone out there. Happy Superman weekend.
I see you got your crypto shirt on. Yeah. Did you go see it yet? Oh, it's out, right?
Yeah, I saw it Saturday.
Not to spoil anything.
No spoilers. Yeah.
Give me a 1 through 10.
8.5.
8.5. Okay. Did it exceed your expectation from like you enjoying the movie? Your enjoyment did it do that job? Did you enjoy the movie at least?
Couldn't take my eyes off the screen.
Okay, well, I might have to go see Superman there. I might have to go.
You want to see it. You want to see it in the theater. It's made for the theater experience.
I mean, I'm off tomorrow. I might just, you know what I'm saying,
go.
Take a day to myself and just go, you know what I'm saying?
Go.
I ain't gonna tell my girl I'm going because she's gonna get mad. But her birthday just passed. So she got everything she want for her birthday already. She ain't getting nothing else. So me going to the movie by myself, she better be all right. But we got a lot of things to talk about today, guys. I see you guys watch. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, and make sure you guys subscribe. Join the RTOFD movement. Also, join membership. We have a membership. If you guys watching from Go James Kingdom or the Facebook or the YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you come over here and subscribe. But, Sean, like I said, a lot of things to talk about. Bleacher Report has just started a war. They dropped their top 100 list. So, players are in certain positions and places. Some people are at 2. People don't like 2. Some people left out of the top 10. Some people rank too high. So we're going to go through the top 100 list and see what we think. If we want to talk about players at a certain list, just talk about players we can. We're going to go through the list. Also, what's on the show list, we've been doing our greatest quarterback season in the franchise history. Last week we did the AFC South. Today we're doing the AFC North. So we want you guys to participate. So now if you guys here now, go ahead and lock in. You should know who in the AFC North. If you guys watch football, pick the year, pick the player in the season. And then we also got to talk about something happened with Teddy Bridgewater. And of course, LeBron James is back in the news again, crying to get traded. But we're going to get into everything. First thing first. Sean, we got to some breaking news that happened in the NBA before we get into this LeBron James saga. What is the breaking news sound? Breaking news from the RTOFD News Breaking Studio. Philadelphia 76ers Paul George underwent a successful arthroscopic procedure on his left knee Monday to treat an injury suffered during a recent workout. Sean, only thing I want to say is, first of all, Paul George, get healthy, praise to you. But remember we did our make sure you guys check that out too, because me and Sean already predicted like 2 trades that just happened. Go check out our off-season prediction and move for each team. We did every team, so make sure you guys go check that out. Sean, remember when we did the 76ers and what I said I would have done? I said I'm trading Joel, I'm trading Paul George, and I'm blowing it up. And then now they got the VJ Edgecombe kid who looks nice. looks great. Because honestly, you probably could have went and got Ace Bailey once you got rid of those two other guys. But it's Cooper. I think the VJ Ashcroft pick is going to be an outstanding player. You know, it might be another Michael Jordan secret son because he looked just like Jimmy Butler, by the way. But yeah, now Paul George is injured. This is what I was saying, Sean. This is the problem. This is gonna happen. It's what could go wrong would go wrong, and I get it. It's hard to probably trade Paul George than it would be Joel Embiid. Actually, it might be equal because Joel Embiid contract is crazy. But with Paul George, I would have gave up. Hey, look, top 10 protected first. Take Paul George off my team. Take him, please. Please do me a favor. I will get rid of this contract. But Paul George is injured. So, Sean, what's your reaction to this?
I think we're building in the excuses for the Sixers before the season even starts.
I mean, it feel like it. It do feel like it. Not gonna lie.
This may turn out to be the worst free agent signing in 76ers history.
I'm not mad at that at all.
When you look at the commitment and the amount of money, I know a couple diehard Philly sports fans, and neither one of them wanted Paul George from the get-go. I told them that it was going to be Paul George before it happened, just because you had to kind of read the room and see what Daryl Morey was doing at the time. But you know, this is bad, and
yes,
you know, it's the process has officially failed. You know, and so yeah, it's
you might be right.
And this is really the proverbial icing on the cake, as far as I'm concerned. You know, there's a reason why the Clippers weren't fighting to keep him.
They was glad they took him, honestly.
Yeah, and you know, I always tell people in free agency or when in acquisitions, you have to ask yourself two things. Number one, if this is a free agent, why isn't the team this player is on fighting harder to keep them?
One.
And two, are we making the right type of investment in this player for our short and long-term future?
Mm-hmm.
Once you answer those two questions, I think then you can have a real conversation about whether or not this player should be acquired. But this is really bad. And, you know, how Daryl Morey continues to keep his job at this point, I don't know. But this is really bad.
I'm all I'm going to say is if his name was Darian Morey, he would have been fired. But that's a different story for a different day. But I don't know. You know, you just do this bad stuff. But if you told me the process was mid-tier playoff team and a MVP, 100% failure. I have to agree with you on that. This is a disaster. But let me know what you guys think about this Paul George injury. Is the process over? Give me a scale of 1 to 10. How did the process fail? Now, I want to knock out the breaking news story before we get to the chat, because a lot of people are talking crazy already. We got to get into this top 100 Bleacher Report list. But also, shout out Sister Tiffany in the chat. She said, salute SB and Sean. Hit the like button that you come in. Kobe is right where he belongs. Yep. He should be a Lord of the Sea, Sean. That's what they say. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I had that. That's why I got the segment right there. But we talked before the show. I can't understand what you're talking about too. Salute Go James in the building. Salute my brother Johnny in the building. DJ Killer in the building. Kobe not top 50. Yeah, all right. Go ahead, get that membership at Go James Kingdom too, and also join the RTOD membership too. And then Go James said, yeah, it's definitely over. It's over. All right, Sean, let's go ahead and get into it. Bleacher Report dropped their top 100 NBA players of all time and where they ranked. Before we get into it, I want to know what was your initial reaction to the list, and what was the first thing you said when you went through it? Just give me 1 or 2 words. I'm going to tell you what I said. It was 1 word.
Well, I mean, you knew there was going to be outrage, of course, because anytime lists like this come out, there's always some outrage.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most outrageous thing for me that stood out was Moses Malone.
What was Moses? Wasn't what?
I think they had Moses Malone at like 21.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I think Moses Malone is the most unsung 3-time MVP, Finals MVP that the league has ever seen, and it's really sad that they didn't consider that piece of his career. Also, when people talk about Allen Iverson taking the 0-1 Sixers to the finals, and people talk about LeBron taking the 0-7 Cavaliers to the finals, talk about the 81 Rockets. And Moses Malone was just that good. He was just that dominant. And it's again unfortunate that he doesn't get his just due. And I say this all great affection: the 83 Sixers don't win unless they get Moses Malone.
They're not winning without Moses.
He was the difference maker for that team. And as good as Dr. J was, and I will never ever say anything bad about Dr. J, if you go back and you watch that series, it was because Moses was just that dominant.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Tiffany said, I thought Julius should have been higher. I don't know why I just like the Julius thing is weird though, Tiff, is because I don't think they count the ABA. That's what I'm assuming. They didn't count the ABA. If you count the ABA, let's be honest, Julius Erving is no shot of a doubt, a top 10 player all time if you count the ABA. And you can really have real conversations about he ain't gonna be low in the top 10 if you count the ABA. But that's a different story. He said Bleacher Report would always piss people off, laugh out loud. He said, wow, Moses 21. Yeah. Sean, when I went down the list, I just instantly, I know this. This is rage baiting. You want to get people to talk about it. You got to do some stuff. It's just 100% rage baiting. But let's go ahead and get into this list. If you guys want to participate in the chat too, this is what we want y'all to do before we get into this list. So when we going down the list and we talking about stuff, if you want us to talk about a player, let us know or engage. And when we going down the list, we just gonna chop it up about it. Let me see. I want to put us right here, Sean, so we can see a better view. Hold on 1 second, guys. Boom. And I got to get rid of that bottom part. Okay. All right. Bleacher Report top 100 list. Let's go. Was it, Sean, one question before we go down. Was it one player that didn't make the top 100 that you thought would have been here? Or you think?
No. No, for when I went through it, and I didn't I didn't do a deep dive on it, but for the most part, I thought they did a pretty good job. Inevitably, again, when you do a top 50 or a top 75 or a top 100, the 101 is always going to be, or the one person left off is always going to be, well, how did the person didn't make the list? I thought they did a pretty good job of the rankings. No one missing it stood out immediately for me, but we're going to review it now, and there may be someone who I may know.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. All right, let's go to the list. Number 100, Artis Gilmore. I actually like that Artis Gilmore. He a Bull, so that's why I'm sorry we stopped. I'm sorry we stopped it too quick. He is Chicago Bull, so I have to say something right here. Shout out Artis Gilmore for getting love, but also, Sean, hold on, wait a minute, because I just went through the list and read everything. They are counting the ABA, so whatever Julius Erving is at, we're gonna look into it. If Julius Erving is not top 10, top 15, that will be crazy. We count the ABA, but I like seeing Artis Gilmore. I think it's like one of Chicago Bulls' first superstars that we technically had. So I always love to see Artis Gilmore get love. Artis Gilmore was nice. He was a dog. And I don't know why the Bulls ain't retired his jersey yet, by the way, too.
Yeah, and I would say from a personal level, my father was friends with Artis Gilmore.
Oh, really?
I met him several times, and so yeah, I have all the greatest respect in the world and admiration for Artis Gilmore. I think he's, again, when you talk about all-time NBA centers, he's probably the one that isn't talked about enough. Because again, there's a pantheon, and he might not have hit that pantheon, but that's neither here nor there. But I know we can't spend every minute on every player.
Everybody, yeah. Only time in Chicago Bull, I got to show me.
Okay, all right.
Next up, Dave Bean. Shout out Dave Bean.
We probably would have had him in a Pistons uniform here, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah,
because you got Klay Thompson, next at 98, one of the greatest shooters of all time. Bedard King, Bernard King at 97. I don't know about that. That's a little.
Well, I mean, I say this just really quickly. The issue with Bernard King was Bernard King missed like 3 years of his career after he had the devastating knee injury in New York. He came back, played for the Bullets, and was an all-star and things like that. But when you talk about peak Bernard King, 1984, Bernard King was the business. And he had a really good, he kind of bounced around before he got to the Knicks. And he had, some good years in Golden State and Utah. But when you talk about New York Knicks, Bernard King, the truth. And that's no slight to Paul Pierce. That was the truth. And gay guys the business.
Bernard King was nice. Not gonna lie. Joe Dumars. Shout out Joe Dumars making the list. 96. Dave Boucher.
Dave the Butcher. Yeah.
Dave the Butcher. Okay. Bill Sharman?
Yeah, Bill Sharman from the Celtics. Yeah.
Celtics, yeah. He looks like a Celtic.
He was also the coach and general manager of the Lakers.
Really?
He was the coach in the early 70s of the Lakers. And then he became the general manager when they drafted, Magic Johnson and things like that. So, yeah.
Johnny said artists should be higher than 100-day bucket. Yeah, that's true. But shout out Jason Tatum, the young superstar. I honestly, one thing, like I said, we ain't trying to deal on everybody because I know we got a lot of players to go through. I think Jason Tatum needs to get more respect. Everybody crying for an American player. I just think it's he light skinned, to be honest with you. And he light skinned and played for the Celtics. Because if Jason Tatum did so what he has done so far in his career in the Lakers jersey, they'd be saying he's the best player in the league. But I think it's because he's a Celtic and he light skinned, so I like the Celtics. But this man, well deserved for Jason Tatum. I think he went up higher. Lenny Wilkins. I know a little bit about Lenny. Okay, man.
Yeah, I would have had him in a Seattle jersey here, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, they could have did that. Mr. Big Shot Billups made 91. Tough. All right, Mr. Chauncey made it. Chris Webber. All right, shout out C-Web. I don't like talking about scandals on here, but did you see an alleged scandal that he got going on?
No.
Allegedly, because I don't want to get sued by nobody. You never know who listening or watching at the time. Allegedly, Doug Christie, his former teammate.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now you know what I'm talking. Okay. I ain't got to say it then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Which is crazy. See, it's real takes no fake debates, not real drama. Real drama.
Yeah.
Earl with Pearl Monroe. Shout out Earl.
No, I will say just for me personally, this is a little low for me. I think Earl the Pearl is, when you talk about the 70s and the style of play, stylistically, there was nobody like him. He brought the playground to the NBA. And I always hate when people say, Jerry Krause discovered Earl the Pearl. Drives me nuts. When you're averaging 42 points a game as a senior in college, you ain't got to be discovered. You're averaging 42 points. You got to be
discovered. I'm going to say,
right.
What?
So, but that said, Earl the Pearl, when you even watching some of his highlights now, the handles, he was, you never knew what he was going to do.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he never knew he was definitely ahead of his time. And I believe, Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe are the best in terms of talent, the best backcourt ever, just in terms of individual talents. And they figured out how to make it work. Yeah. So
one of the coldest nicknames too, by the way.
Yeah.
Earl the Pearl is a cold nickname.
Yeah, you know how you got the nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wait, how you? I was talking basketball. I thought you were going to give me like a backstory, like the day they named him Earl the Pearl.
No. So what happened was when he was in college, he would have these like great games, and the newspaper started calling them Earl's Pearls. And that's how he got the nickname Earl the Pearl.
That's a dope way to get a nickname. Wood said Earl was the first street ball player to come to the NBA. Yeah, Earl was like that. The Savage Draymond Green at 88. Alonzo Mourning. I think you like that at least they put Alonzo in the Heat jersey, right? They did him justice.
I mean, that's where he spent the majority of his career, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. You cool? You the Heat guy? You cool with Alonzo?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Tony Parker over Alonzo Mourning.
I mean, it
Okay,
again.
I was gonna see what you would be like. Sam Jones, shout out Sam Jones. Adrian Dantley. I ain't gonna lie. People don't talk about when he talk about bucket. Get remember Paul George said about like pure score. You talking about a bucket? This man is in the janitorial work when they talking about he keep a bucket on him. He's a bucket. Adrian Dantley was one of score. We talking about scoring. People need to put more respect on Adrian Dantley. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out Adrian.
And Adrian Dantley 6'4", 6'5", and he did most of his scoring from the post.
And was giving people work.
So Adrian Dantley was like that. And unfortunately, this whole situation happened with the Pistons and Isaiah, but
yeah. Your boy Jimmy Butler in the Heat jersey. Oh, yeah, he deserves to be the Heat jersey. Jimmy Butler in the Heat jersey. Bob Lanier. Shout out Bob Lanier.
Again, one of the best big men ever, 2010 automatic. I thought Bob Lanier should have gotten more consideration for top 75 when they did the top 75. But,
Bob Lanier not top 75?
No, he didn't make top 75.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, that's tough. Dikembe Mutombo at 81. Okay, Dikembe, and then number 80, Nate Tiny Archibald. Okay, so far we 20 in. So far, it's nothing like outstandingly crazy. So far, everything seemed pretty cool to me. Lanier was Woolwich said Lanier was one of the strongest players in NBA history. Don't let Will Chamberlain hear you say that. He's Will Chamberlain broke everything. Next up, Grant Hill. Obviously we didn't get to see the full version of Grant Hill, but we knew Grant Hill was nice. But dang.
But Pete Grant Hill.
Grant Hill was crazy. He said the Big Ben disrespect. G Money, how Big Ben get disrespected? He said Willis Reed, Bob Lanier, Paul Isaac, Chauncey Billups, Kobe Bryant disrespected. I mean, I'm gonna say with Chauncey, for him to make the top 100, I think that's showing him enough love, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean him, but yeah, Pete Grant Hill. But I think that's what it's more of just like Pete Grant Hill right here. Grant Hill was nice. Yeah. I mean, if Grant Hill make it, Derrick Rose should have been at least 99, but that's a different story for a different day. I'm being biased. I don't care. Paul George at 78. This is the player that this generation loves a lot, but people forget Paul George was nice before the injury. And I ain't never seen nobody break the leg. They did. It came back even better. So shout out Paul George. Pistol Pete Maravich, 77. That's a nice player. Alex English was a dope player too for his time at
second greatest Nugget of all time.
Who number one? Jokic?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, he better than Melo?
Yes.
Okay. Melo gonna be higher than him because it's Nick team.
Well, I'm just saying Nugget. I ain't say player. I just said Nugget.
Nugget, yeah. 75, Manu Ginobili, one of the best six men of all time. I think it's a possibility Manu Ginobili could have been a way better player than what he was, but I think him being with the Spurs is the best thing that could happen to his career that made him great because he had the skill set to be crazy. English best scorer of the 80s in total points. Yeah, he told Mars underrated.
He absolutely is.
That's right. Dave Cowens. I'm taking Manu over there because
Dave.
I was being funny because of yourself. No, it's good. Shout out Dave Cowens.
And again, when you talk about the 70s center, it's Kareem, but Dave Cowens is right. Dave Cowens was an MVP in the 70s. Won an MVP in the 70s. So
they just give
Dave Cowens, and you talk about dirty work, but could give you the business. That was Dave Cowens.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I was joking, but
it's for the Celtics. I know, and I'm saying this real quick. The 90s is the worst decade in the Celtics history.
Yes.
But the 70s is to me the lost decade when you talk about the Celtics history, because Dave Cowens, JoJo White, John Havlicek, they were like that. They only won 2 championships, but they were like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really don't like talking about the 70s because I guess like the 70s era was, a lot going on during that time. But Hal Greer, shout out Hal Greer. The type of injury assessment they used to have back in the day with thing on his leg. Where like we go strap something to you. You gonna get you back. we go strap some plastic on you. Gonna get you back out here.
No load management.
There ain't no load management at the time. Paul Reason. Paul Reason, thank you. I want to butcher his name. I know who this is, but Paul Reason. Chris Bosh at 71. Shout out to the Chris Bosh love too, because people forget how good people let him go into Miami playing his role. People forget how good Chris Bosh was. So I'm actually happy to see Chris Bosh get some love on this list, because Chris Bosh was nice. Shout out Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld was a dog during his time too, by the way. Number 69, Kyrie Irving, one of the most skilled point guards of all time. Shout out Kyrie Irving. Robert Parrish at 68. Dennis Rodman at 67. I think Dennis Rodman probably would have been more happy if he was at 69, but that's a different story for a different day, Sean. Joel Embiid at 66. Okay, can we pause for a second? This might be my first problem. Joel Embiid might be too high. MVP or not, this is wild. Skilled, cool. He play at peak, because if that's the case, you just take his around the peak, then you can move a lot of stuff around. I'm not taking Joel Embiid over Dennis Rodman. All right, go back to Dennis Rodman, Chris Bosh, Robert Parrish, or Kyrie Irving. I get he got an MVP. That's 1 year. And if you go just take 1 year for MVP, Derrick Rose should have made the list then. And if I'm pushing the agenda, Sean, I don't care. But I think Chris Bosh. I'm sorry. Joel Embiid a little too high for me. That's just me. Am I wrong for saying he's a little too high to me, or you think he's okay where he at?
I have no comment on the matter.
Okay, that answered my question. Sean said H to the now. They don't seem like he said that's his average amount of games he played a season. That's crazy. 66. Shout out Vince Carter. They got Vince Carter at 65, and he didn't even make the top 75. Shout out VC. Dame Dollar. And shout out Dame. James Worthy at 63. Pal Gasol. Shout out Pal. Pal Gasol over James. I digress. Pal Gasol over James Worthy is crazy, but Pal Gasol not a bad player. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but Pal Gasol over James Worthy is crazy. Bob McAdoo, shout out Bob McAdoo.
Pause here for a moment. 3-time scoring champ, league MVP. Bob McAdoo was the original stretch big. When you talk about, and before the 3-point shot, he was the guy who spaced the floor and could hit 18, 20-footers in his sleep. And people talk about him with the Lakers. He was more of a role player with the Lakers. But if you go back and you watch him with Buffalo, and
he was killing.
Bob McAdoo was absolutely like that.
Yeah, shout out Bob McAdoo. And one of the got a cold baseball basketball McAdoo. That's a cold lad, man. Shout out Carmelo Anthony, 60. One of the best scorers of all time. I think skill-wise, best scorer, because he can do everything. Tracy McGrady, T-Mac at 59. I'm taking Carmelo. Because Willis Reed. Shout out Willis Reed. Is it Willis Reed love? Luka Doncic at 57. Ooh, Luka nice. But 57. Okay, Luka. Dolph Sheriff at 56. Bill Walters. RP Bill Walton too, by the way. RP Bill injuries ruined his career a little bit, but I mean, he still was successful though. Shout out Bill Walton. Reggie Miller at 54. Yeah. No comment. I'm gonna keep going. Gary Payton at 53. Shout out GP. Dwight Howard at 52. Shout out. One thing I want to say, look, right. I get it with Dwight that y'all might not personally like him. He got a lot of other stuff be going on. That's that man business. That don't have nothing to do with me. The only thing I care about is what he done on the basketball court. For y'all to sit here and disrespect Dwight Howard, like Dwight Howard was not the best center in the league for a while. He was one of the best players in the league when Dwight Howard was at his prime. Your favorite player got smacked by Dwight Howard. Yeah, some of y'all got smacked by Dwight Howard. And his next best player was Hedo Turkoglu. And when Hedo Turkoglu left Orlando, he was trash. Jameer Nelson, his next best guy, he led them to the finals. Dominated. Defense, dominated. And the crazy part about the shot, he have a post move. I don't know how this man dominated like that without he had that one little post hook in his prime, Sean. That's about it. But shout out to Dwight actually getting some love, and he got his Hall of Fame nod. I think the Hall of Fame is this year, right? It didn't happen yet, right? Yeah. So this year, shout out to Dwight.
Coming up.
Ray, oh, your boy Ray right here. Shout out Ray at 51. Only thing with Ray Allen is the problem I have, and I know you can't see my mouse, but I'm circling over the Heat jersey. His Heat time and his Boston time, people think that's Ray Allen. That is not Ray Allen. He lasted that long because he was just before Steph Curry came. He was the greatest shooter of all time. But for Ray Allen, he just went and chased championships, got him 2 rings. Go look at Seattle Supersonics, Ray Allen, Bucks, Ray Allen, and you will know what Ray Allen is. That's the Jesus Shuttleworth. Y'all don't know Jesus. That's all I was saying. Y'all don't know who Jesus Shuttleworth is. But Ray Allen is the GOAT, one of the great players. Shout out Dominique Wilkins at 50, a bucket, by the way. Paul Pierce at 49. Okay. Russell Westbrook at 48. Triple-double man. Elvin Hayes, 47. Kevin McHale, 46. Anthony Davis at 45. Shout out AD Chicago getting some love. George Mikan. I'm for Anthony Davis. I'm gonna keep going. George Mikan.
Well, just put George Mikan in perspective. George Mikan was the first superstar of the league.
Yeah, he was.
And when you talk about big men, the Mikan drill, the drill that he would do, every big man was taught to do that drill, and even some big wings were taught to do that drill. That came from him. And when you talk about like the league and the lane changes and things like that, that was because of him and his dominance. So I'm glad they put George Mikan on this list as high as they did.
Walt Frazier, shout out Walt Frazier.
One of the first, probably the first two-way point guard that was as good as he was offensively, was equally, if not better, as good defensively.
He was dark.
And Walt Frazier, to tell you how smart Walt Frazier was, he would set you up. Walt Frazier could get 6-7 steals a game, but he wouldn't do it. He would always bait guys into thinking that's how he was playing them, and he could get a steal in a key moment in the game because of how he thought the game. And one of the coolest nicknames ever, Clyde Frazier.
Clyde Frazier, yeah.
So shout out Bonnie and Clyde.
Crazy sideburns, by the way. It was crazy. With suit jackets be crazy too on the sidelines too, but it would be trip. George Iceman Gervin, one of the smoothest players ever. I don't believe people don't really show George Gervin a lot of love. It would be. I don't think it'd be no Kevin Durant without somebody like Iceman, bro. Iceman.
I agree with that.
Iceman was different. Rick Barry, shout out Rick Barry. Everybody know him on free throws. Patrick Ewing, shout out Patrick Ewing. Clyde Drexler at 39. We getting to them names now. Bob Pettit, 38. Bob Cousy, 37. Allen Iverson at 36. Shout out. Yeah, a lot of people from like my age, I think everybody's first favorite player was Allen Iverson. If he was like my age, he was my first favorite player. If you ain't never cut a pair of socks up and put your long sleeve socks on your arm, you ain't real. Everybody did that. Hey, I the reason why people wearing sleeves to this day. Steve Nash, 35. James Harden, 34. Jason Kidd, who I think is the greatest point guard of all time, playmaking wise, passing wise. Jay Kidd, Kawhi Leonard at 32. John Havlicek at 31. Chris Paul at 30. John Stockton, 29.
Funny they have them back to back when Chris Paul was basically the new age John Stockton.
He pretty much is. Yeah, I'm taking Chris Paul over John Stockton, by the way. But they, I think they did that on purpose. I think they were just disgusted. Both of them, they were just like, yeah. I think they just put John Stockton ahead of him just off of respect. GP. Scottie Pippen at 28. Shout out Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen actually getting some love a little bit higher. Isaiah Thomas, 27. Elgin Baylor, 26. Charles Barkley, 25. Giannis at 24. Giannis could be a little bit higher. D Wade at 23. You think about D Wade, Sean, or
No, he's on the list. That's all that really matters to me mostly.
Karl Malone? I'm sorry, I'm not taking Karl Malone over D Wade. 22, Karl Malone. Moses Malone at 21. This is what you said. Probably you think he should have been higher.
I know. I'm saying this. I know people who personally have Moses in their top 10.
Yeah.
That Moses was. I think again, he's the guy. And the problem with Moses for most people is you don't tie his prime to one team.
Mm-hmm.
His prime was really long, but it's Houston and the Sixers. And even after he left the Sixers and went to the Hawks, he was still dominating. But I think he wasn't the most marketable star for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Won't get into that. But when you just talk about just pure dominance, probably the best offensive rebounder ever.
Yeah, he was getting the boards.
Yeah, he was the chairman of the boards, and for a reason. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, and I think this is like how you talk about like John Stockton, Chris Paul. I think this was the same thing because look, right after him is Julius Erving, and like I said, if you tied the ABA, then Julius Erving got to be higher than 20. I'm sorry,
and that's his ABA jersey. So,
so that tells me you did add. So Julius Erving got to be higher than this. David Robinson, 19. Dirk Nowitzki at 18. One of the greatest single seasons with the championship year they won. Dirk them went crazy. Nikola Jokic at 17. Kevin Garnett at 16. Jerry West at 15. All right, Sean, we get to the top 15. All right, let's probably get a little bit real now. Let's get to it. Oscar Robertson, 14. Kevin Durant, 13. Hakeem Olajuwon at 12. 11, Kobe Bean Bryant is out of line. I don't know where this Kobe, but I'm cool. Everybody lists they list, whatever they make it, but I feel like this is just being more fuel from all the Kobe talk that everybody has been doing to me.
And
I think if it wasn't going on, Kobe been top 10. That's all I'm saying.
And so I would say this as every list I've ever seen previous to this list generally would have Kobe somewhere between 10 and 14. That's where I've seen him in the list. I don't think it's disrespectful because, again, how many players does it take to make up a full NBA roster? 15. Which means if you take the top 15 players off this list to make an NBA roster, Kobe would be on that roster, that all-time roster. So I don't view this as disrespect at all.
Well, I don't know, Sean. I don't like it. Number 10, Steph Curry. So Steph Curry over Kobe now. And I don't know though. I think though with Steph, I think it's time to have the uncomfortable conversation, Sean, that people don't want to have of how great Steph Curry is. I'm like, it's to a point now with Steph, especially the second tenure that he had, that he ended up getting like better over time. Like I said, I never seen somebody who won an MVP and then got better than his MVP version. But what I want to say though is it's time to have that uncomfortable conversation about Steph Curry that he higher than a lot of people, Sean. And it's a name on his point guard list I haven't seen. I'm ready to put Steph over him. That's just me. Could I be wrong? That's just me. But I think Steph Curry is getting to that point that we got to start having an uncomfortable conversation about Steph that y'all don't want to have. And Steph might be higher than a lot of people. Wilt Chamberlain, Mr. 100 points. We still got to figure out if it's real. Probably the greatest white player of all time.
It's real. There's a radio broadcast. It's real.
Man, look, Sean. Look, all I'm gonna say is this: we have seen people do sports, but it was just on paper. You could get somebody a little extra status. So I think he. It was high though. I think he probably had like a 92-point game. You know, 92 or 100. Which one sound better?
There's literally a radio broadcast of the game. Like,
if I don't see it with my eyes, I don't believe it.
Well, do you see air?
We talk about sport. You even
I'm asking, do you see oxygen?
No, it's not meant to be seen.
Right, but you breathe, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, all right then.
No, we ain't doing that shit. Number 8, Larry Bird, probably the greatest white player of all time, or at least most hype white player of all time.
We're not
Tim
doing
Duncan
that.
should be way higher.
We're not disrespecting Larry Bird. We're not doing that.
No, I'm saying like hype wise, like he's like the poster.
There were guys who were probably more. There were guys who were more hype, but Larry Bird lived up to the hype and then some.
No, he did. But I'm saying ain't no white player more popular than Larry Bird. Who? I ain't nobody more not white that's more popular than Larry Bird. He's the poster people when they look for the next white American player, they say, "Is he the next Larry Bird?"
I think the popularity is subjective. When we just talk about just pure greatness,
no, he still is the greatest white player though, for sure.
But with Larry Bird, it's not even about him being white. Larry Bird would give anybody the business. White, black, yellow, green, purple, doesn't matter. You get in the business.
For the record, he'll feel disrespectful if you put a white person on him, actually.
Yes. So so gave people the business, point blank.
Tim Duncan at 7. Me personally, I think Tim Duncan should be higher. And honestly, I told you because the GOAT debate has been so tiring, and I really think Tim Duncan might be the greatest basketball player of all time. Because he can say something that a lot of players can't say. Tim Duncan never had a losing season in his career. Never had. Jordan can't say that. LeBron definitely can't say that. And he has beat who y'all deem as the greatest player of all time multiple times, and one time when he was old. So I don't know. I think this is another person where I think because Tim Duncan don't have a flash, but this is another player, Sean, that I think we need to really have a real uncomfortable conversation about how Tim Duncan. Because I know I ain't see Shaq yet either. Tim Duncan is by far better than Shaq. And speaking of Shaq, I brought him up. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was so great, my mom named me after him. But Shaq. I think what Shaq peak was outstanding. It's just I think the tail end of his career kind of messed Shaq up. But Shaq will tell you he did that to himself. Shaq at 6. Now we get to the top 5, Sean. Bill Russell, I think I'm not mad at this. This is out of respect. I think this is just short of Bill Russell level. You got to put him 5 because he's the greatest winner of all time. Bill Russell, I'm cool with that. Number 4, Magic Johnson. I'm gonna be real with you, Sean. Everybody love Magic, but this too high for me. Magic not top 5. Magic, everybody love Magic, so I get it. But no, he's not. I'm not putting him over Tim Duncan. I love Magic. Magic was magic, but it's cool. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which I'm happy to see the Cap get some love because I think this era of basketball fans don't really understand how good Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, how dominant he really was. Like for y'all to care about, like I'm saying this real, for y'all to care about scoring records and leading the league and stuff. When Kareem retired, he led the NBA in like two to three categories. I'm trying to remember. I think was it scoring in blocks or scoring in rebounds?
It was multiple categories.
Multiple categories. For y'all to care about, I'm talking about everybody, for championships, accolades, stat achievements. Kareem, when he retired, he had all of that. So
and he still has the all-time field goals made record,
which is crazy. All buckets. Most unstoppable shot. I don't care if you don't like. I don't care if it's just y'all don't like big man basketball. Y'all don't like center basketball.
Yeah, and again, I'll say this about Kareem. To me, Kareem, Jordan, Duncan, Olajuwon, guys who were as good defensively as they were good offensively, and those are all-time offensive players. He was in that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Cap was different. And then he was so much of a good leader where he didn't have his ego get in the way. Once he realized Magic could carry the torch, he took a step back so they could keep winning. And still did his job and dominated. He just let Magic be the face, which Kareem probably liked that anyway because Kareem didn't like the spotlight like that. All right, number 2. There's only 2 days left. Number 2, LeBron Ramon James. Not shocked by this. I'm cool with this. I think LeBron being there too is like, okay, that's fine. I know everybody. This was the main uproar was LeBron being at 2 and Kobe being at 11. That was like the main thing. But I think
can I
LeBron
just
being
say
at
this?
2 is not a problem.
Can I just say this, SB, just a reminder? The NBA was not formed in 2000.
people, hey, look, man, they got to remember that because that's all they know. But we done with the 90s, we done with the 80s and 70s. We got to forget history to make somebody be great. No, LeBron is great on his own, but you can't disrespect an era to push somebody on top. But LeBron being there too, it's not a problem for me. It is what it is. But I mean, for also, it's over a lot of players to play in the league. For you to be ranked number 2 is not bad.
I think again, I think if you're in the top 3, and we generally consider these 3 guys the best NBA players ever, regardless of whatever order you have them in, I don't view it as disrespect. I just think it's a matter of preference, but also, did you really study them? Did you really watch them? That's really what it came down to. So, and keep in mind, this is an NBA list. This is not a basketball list. This is an NBA list. If it were a basketball list, we'd probably be having a different conversation.
Oh no, we can. I can tell you what the conversation is. If it's just basketball alone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is by far the greatest basketball player ever. Best high school player, best college player, bro. NBA career great successful. They made a rule for Kareem to stop dunking in high school. I mean in college. That's how bad he was tearing people up. So child, you ain't got to. If it was a basketball, it's Kareem. Kareem is better than everybody. We just got to be honest about it. But nobody want to have that conversation.
Right, and the only thing Kareem does not have on his basketball resume is the international play, and that's because when he would have played in the Olympics in 1968, many black athletes boycotted the United States Olympics, and he was one of the ones out front doing that.
So that's the only one he didn't get. But Sean, number 1, the GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan is at number 1, and nobody's shocked about this at all. Most polarizing player in the 90s during his era, took the NBA global, 6-time champion, 5 MVPs, 6 Finals MVPs, 6-0, one of the best players ever all time. Jordan at 1. Sean, as we recap and we close the list, we got a couple of stories we got to do. We got to run through quick. I know this kind of went a little bit longer than what we thought it was going to. Now looking back at this list, what's one thing that's like stood out to you? Is like or it was just cool to you? What you think?
It's for me, the biggest thing is the Moses Malone thing. Is that I just think Moses Malone, as a 3-time MVP, champion, Finals MVP, one of the most dominant centers ever, I think he does not get his just due. And again, 21, is very low. When I know people who watched him, who saw him, that think he's one of the top 10 players ever, that he was that good. But other than that,
Yeah. From what I'm thinking off the top of my head, when I went through the 100 list, I don't think it's a player that did get left off that I thought it should have been on the list. So that means if I can't think of a player like instantly like this, then no, I think he might. I think they might got at least 100 players right. At least you got the Dwights, they put T-Mac, they put Vince, they put AI. Scotty was ranked high, nice high enough. I don't really think nobody was really left off that could have been on there though. So I like it. Jordan at 1.
Yeah, nobody stands out for me.
Nobody stands out. Yeah. So I think they kind of pretty much got it right with at least 100 players. Order is always going to be some with order. Let you guys know what you think about this top 100 list. Tell what you guys think. Let us know. I had another segment set up after this story, but me and Sean settled it before the show, and we ran a long time, so we can skip the Kobe segment. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, so we can skip the Kobe one. Next up, though, Rich Paul is still talking with this LeBron thing. LeBron hasn't asked for a trade, but 4 teams have shown interest in him, Sean. Let me look up why I get this. What's your opinion on this with LeBron talking about he didn't ask for a trade? but he obviously clearly been whining about getting that he might want to be traded. What's your reaction to hearing this, Sean? Because I'm gonna tell you my reaction is. But while I look up these trade scenarios that I sent my homie in the Facebook. But go ahead, what you think? And then also, who you think of the 4 teams is if you had to predict?
My reaction is 3 words. I don't care.
Why is that?
It.
You're gonna be honest with it. Go ahead and just call a spade a spade.
I'm just at this point. Just say when you're gonna hang it up, so we can appreciate you appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, it's kind of like I don't care. And let me be clear, I don't hate. I'm not a LeBron hater. That you've never heard me speak as a LeBron hater. What I don't like at times is sometimes the attention whoring or the apparent attention whoring. I don't like it. Because you don't need it.
Or what do you say, LeBron be passive aggressive? I hate when you do that, bro.
Yeah, it's I can't say what I really want to say because we keep it PG, but it's I don't want to say that. I'm just at this point, and I'm saying this, and I think there's a reality,
52 million is crazy.
A reality that we need to embrace, and everyone needs to embrace. When LeBron retires, the league will go on.
Yeah,
they will not cancel the next season. Games will not all of a sudden suck. The league will go on. It will go on.
It's
going to go on. It's going to go on, right? It always does. So that is the nature of it. But the whole Lakers situation and how things are handled, maybe they could have handled things better. I'm not going to get in the middle of that because, again, what we know is what has been reported or purported. But at the end of the day, let's just appreciate what we have while we have you. But let us know if you want us to get the farewell tour and get all the accolades and all the gifts and all that stuff. Just say, hey, this is it. I stand firm. I think we're going to get an announcement by the end of the summer that it's going to be 23 for 23. And so we can spend this season appreciating what LeBron has done in his career. But all this extra stuff, and I just got to be in the news cycle, and I just got to be in the –
I want to compete for a championship. No, you don't.
Yeah, it's tiring. Like, yeah, great. Yeah, great. Cool. Yeah, cool.
I'm finna mortgage my future of this team to possibly get a championship. Not guarantee a championship because it ain't like the West wide open. For a 40-year-old guy, we just got a 25-year-old superstar. LeBron is boo-hooing because for the first time in his career, it's not about him. He can't control. He can't control what's going on. My man, you're 40. This is year 23. They just got Luka Doncic. LeBron, if I got Luka on my team and a 40-year-old LeBron James in my LeBron, you look, bro, we just waiting on the year to be over with you. We gonna do what we can do to compete, but we not mortgaging our future for you because also we gotta re-sign Luka. You gonna leave. You're gonna retire after this year. I'm not going, and that's why like people gotta realize it does have some benefits of staying to a certain place because then you can have that loyalty or that respect and that tie to an office or an ownership group where they might take that risk for you. But LeBron, the Lakers didn't draft LeBron. And I get that he's been with the Lakers just as long as he's been in Cleveland. But no, that's why like when Kobe had his last little run with the Lakers, they knew they couldn't deliver him a championship. So what they do? Give him a big old payday. So it's something to work with in between. But the Lakers ain't got no loyalty to LeBron like that. Especially when you got a guy named Luka Doncic. LeBron got to stop boo-hooing. Go ahead, retire. Let us appreciate your last year, and we can move on. We can move on. The league's gonna move on. He said the LeBron fans will stop watching like the Jordan fans did. But I can't wait till they over with because I'm tired of the go debate. I'm ready to enjoy basketball for what it is in basketball. I can't wait. And I appreciate LeBron's career, but it's more of like of that certain conversation and topic. That's why I can't wait for that to be over because then now it's like y'all could go argue that about y'all could go back and have highlight warfare with Jordan and LeBron over there in that corner. And then we actually enjoying basketball for what it is over here.
And can I say this just one thing, SB? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I think LeBron, if he really wanted to, could play 2 or 3 more years, but it doesn't mean he should.
Yeah, I think he played 3 more years for sure, but I don't think he needs to.
And I think I'm gonna use a boxing comparison and just to may hit home just a little bit. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, one of the greatest middleweights of all time. You know, one of the things about Marvelous Marvin Hagler, after his last fight was against Sugar Ray Leonard. He thought he won that fight. A lot of people believe he won that fight. If you go back and watch the fight,
if you go back and watch it, I ain't gonna lie, that's different. We'll be talking all day about that fight.
But he retired after that fight. Never fought again. We never saw Marvelous Marvin Hagler be bad in the ring. When he walked away. He could still fight. He could still do it. He just got out. The problem with many athletes, unfortunately, is they tend to stay too long as opposed to get out while you still can, right? And I think that's what I don't. And I'm not saying LeBron can't play. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get out while you still can play, so we can say we never saw him be bad.
Yeah, because I think if he's trying to prolong for like another 2 more, we'll start seeing it. Right. But I think he could be one of the greatest players that played basketball that we didn't see play bad. If he leave after this year, I think like 1 to 2 more years there, it's gonna be bad. Go James Kingdom said LeBron is playing longer than this season. He better not. And you said the Lakers, they got no future. How? They got Luka Doncic.
Well, for now.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, and that's what they don't understand too. They like when people get mad or LeBron James fans get mad. First of all, they don't even like LeBron fans and Lakers fans don't even get along. 1. Then 2, the Lakers are trying to re-sign Luka Doncic. It's not about LeBron no more. I'm sorry. Look, you got 50 something million. 52. Well, I think who said it in the chat? Wu said it. Winding with 52 million is crazy. You got 52 million reasons not to be mad. He said, false Brown fans are real NBA fans. We have a little withdrawal, but Johnny, you are the only one. Stop it. I don't make I could go, I'll be trolling the Go James chat. No, I got evidence. Don't make me look. I'm gonna start bringing the bad take book to YouTube. I'm gonna start doing that. Don't make me go to research. I got stuff in the files. The King's Guardian files. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh man, but he said opinions are like. So I guess everybody has an opinion, John Wick. Okay, just because you feel away and you guarding your king is not gonna save you. It is what it is. The fact. But Sean, also it was 4 teams interested in LeBron. I'm trying to say if you guessed the 4 teams before, because also these are possible trade scenarios if a team was traded for LeBron, and you let me know would you take the package if you was on the team. But before I get to that, can you possibly guess the 4 teams?
Cavs, Mavs, Warriors, Clippers.
I think you might be right on that. But they haven't revealed the 4 teams, but that sounds about right. The teams that might be going after them. Clippers. I don't know. I might take a risk. Okay. First trade up is the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks. You are the Mavericks, Sean. You let me know if you accept this trade. You are, or what's that? I don't know. Whatever side you want to be on, Lakers or the team that received LeBron. Let me know when you accept the trade. The Mavericks will receive LeBron James and Bronny James. We know you got to bring Sun with you. The Lakers will receive Daniel Gafford, Najee Marshall, P.J. Washington, and Klay Thompson. Do you accept that trade?
No.
Okay. Next one up. The 2 teams involved is the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers will receive LeBron James, Bronny James, Shake Milton. The Lakers will receive Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and a first-round pick. Do you accept this trade?
If I'm the Cavs, no.
Okay. But the Lakers, yeah, you do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would do that if I were them.
Same way with the Mavericks one. Would you accept that if you was the Lakers?
No. Oh, no.
Okay. Next up, your Miami Heat. Miami Heat receive LeBron. I think they trolled by putting Bronny in every trade package, which is funny to me, but whatever. They will receive LeBron James and Bronny James. The Heat will trade Vaccash Jr., Wiggins, Rozier, Nikola Jovic, and a first-round pick.
Cuss word, no.
Okay. Next up is the Knicks. LeBron James and Bronny James. This is so funny. Keep putting Bronny with him. Wherever you go with your daddy. Wherever you go. So when LeBron retires, Bronny gonna be retiring too, which is crazy. The Lakers will receive OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek, Miles McBride, and a first-round pick. Do you pull this trade?
For the Knicks?
For the Knicks, OG, Mitchell Robinson.
The Knicks, I would say yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We got a year from. Okay. All right. Next up, Denver Nuggets. LeBron James.
No.
LeBron James. Bronny James. Eric Gordon, Christian Braun, Hunter Tyson in the first-round pick.
No.
Okay. Boston Celtics is on this list, which is wild.
No. God, no. Don't skip it. No. Don't even bother. Bob, don't even bother.
Okay. Warriors. LeBron James. Bronny James. Hey, they trolling. Whoever did this mock trade, they are such a troll. LeBron James, Bronny James to the Warriors for Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, and 2 first-round picks.
If I'm the Warriors, I'm not doing that trade.
Is it because of the picks, not the players?
Because of the picks.
Okay. I can agree with you on that. Maybe one. If they both protected picks, then I'll do that. That's all of them. So you only accepted the one with the Knicks, and the Knicks trade that you said you accepted is LeBron James, Bronny James going to the Knicks for OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek, Miles McBride in the first-round pick. And I think only reason I kind of agree with you on the Knicks one because the Knicks is the type of franchise that all they need is one, and then the ownership gonna let that championship ride for the next 50 years and let it rock out. The East is wide open. I think if you are an East team and you right there, and it's a possible move that'll take you over the edge, pay. This the year where you worry about the second apron and all that. This the year to pay that second apron in the East. The East is wide open. You see, Philly just got hurt, but yeah. Let us know what you guys think about those trades about LeBron. We got to keep going because what's the name took a little bit longer than what it was. Sean, Teddy Bridgewater was suspended from Miami Northwestern for allegedly giving impermissible benefits to his players. Miami Northwestern head football coach Shea Brown acknowledged in a Facebook post late Sunday night that he has been suspended by Miami Northwestern. The suspension comes days after the Florida High School Athletic Association began looking into allegations that Bridgewater provided impermissible benefits to his players. It said Bridgewater, this was a post, said the suspension came from MENW, and it's impossible to suspend someone who doesn't work for you. So if I'm suspended from MENW, I'm free to go to another school of my choice, but I'm not going anywhere. And if it comes down to it, I will volunteer from the bleachers like I used to in 2018, 2019 when no one had a problem. What's your reaction to this? Because I got a strong opinion on this, Sean, but go ahead. I'm going to hear what you got to say.
So I just want to be quick because I know we're running close to time, but this is the problem with regulations and rules. What did he provide? He provided Uber rides for his players to get to practice. He provided meals because, again, they're hungry. Kids got to eat. He he supplied recovery services for his players, because I don't know if people know this. Football is actually a rough contact sport, and the body does need recovery. So the problem I have with this, SB, is the energy, the miscast, the focus for the energy with this is just way off. It's wrong.
Yes.
It's stupid. And again, he wasn't doing this for recruiting. He wasn't doing this so kids will come to where he is. He's doing this to take care of the kids who don't have the access to these things otherwise.
Yep.
Ooh, so sad.
Oh man, forgive me for being a great coach.
So and the only reason why it became an issue was because he posted on Facebook, so if people wanted to donate to the cause, they could.
I
just think it's sad, but it's also not all that crazy given the state of society right now. Where, never mind.
I understand.
Okay.
You. I heard what you said. You ain't have to say it. I heard what you said. You ain't have to say it.
Right.
Yes.
And I'll go ahead and say it. Where someone like Tupe Fiasco can be sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with 34 felonies and all kinds of fallacious and crazy stuff on his record, and it's all good. But this guy wants to help the kids on his team, and it's a problem. We are living in a bass-backward society.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. 100% agree.
That's all.
And Sean, I told you I was gonna pull the Wendy. I said, don't you think it's weird that this came out after he asked people to help donate? I just think it's weird to me, and I think it went two ways though, Sean. Is one of them coaches from his other school, probably the rival school. Remember, he just won a championship with them. So somebody who want to probably win bad, whatever you want to excuse you want to use to it, said, look at this post right here. He giving them Uber rides. They getting certain type of football. He probably tried to gas it, whoever this was. Oh man, he giving these kids these great meals in these football workouts. My school can't compete, man. This got to be illegal. This got to be something wrong. I know for a fact one of them other coaches did that because he just won a championship. So I know one of them had to do that. And then two, I don't want to say it's a parent or anybody else like that, but just because I'm going to say it this way. Just because Teddy Bridgewater played in the NFL, his money is not unlimited. He ain't the richest man in the world. Things cost. And if you want to be a part and support, that's all he asks. Support and help. And I guarantee you, whoever kids are in this situation probably benefiting greatly from this. And it probably helped them in the future, not even just football-wise, just them as a young growing man to see and go through the process of learning how things will be. So just for a brother asking for it, hey, can you help donate? I don't understand how that's a problem, but you would have choose to suspend him. And when he said his quote about, hey, I could easily go to another school, that gave me my sign that I already knew what it was, Sean. It was one of these other coaches complaining that, hey, I can't compete with him if he giving these players these benefits. It's not fair. It doesn't get rules and regular. I know that's what happened, Sean. Because high school sports, I'm going to say for sure high school sports, I know we see all the things like the little movies and stuff with that one cheesy coach who sabotaged the team. That stuff is real life. If you really being part of like high school sports, that stuff real life be going on. It be coaches like that. They be mad. They be losing. And they'll do anything to win.
Yeah, and I'll say this real quick, SB. The reason why Teddy Bridgewater is at Miami Northwestern largely is because he's an alumnus of Miami Northwestern. That's where he went to high school. So that's his reasoning and rationale for being there. And again, he understands many of the kids that go there came from and come from some of the same circumstances from which he came from.
Yep.
So anything he can do to help them. And again, this wasn't him going out and buying cars and chains and none of that. This was, hey, we want to make sure you if you're hungry, you got something to eat. Hey, We want to make sure if you need a way to get to and from practice safely, we'll take care of your Ubers. Hey, again, football is a rough sport. We'll bring in some recovery specialists and some massage therapists and some physical therapists because again, these aren't kids that are necessarily coming from places where they have a great deal of wealth. And if you want to keep it a buck even more, some of these kids come from places where the people who can help, you may not necessarily want them to help.
No, you're right. Right.
And if you don't understand what I'm saying, watch The Wire. That's it.
Yep. Watch his life in general, how it is. And then also this last thing, I know we got to move on. People got to understand, like, sports has changed from the time we was growing into sports. Like, a lot of people who make it and to get as good as you want to be, it costs a lot of money now. Like, to be an athlete now, it costs a lot of money now. You have to have those because the advancements, science, medicine, all this, the advancement, knowledge of sports, it costs a lot. So, and I think people don't realize that. People think it just be like, hey, I bought my son his pads, his helmet, and one pair of cleats. He should be good. But no, it costs more than that now. To be a high school athlete, it costs more. It ain't just give me a pair of sneakers and I go to hoop for the rest and give me one sleeve from and a pair of elite socks and I'll be good for the whole season. Now, it don't work like that no more. It's just a different era. But let me know what you guys think. I think it's wild that he got suspended though. But I'm telling you, Sean, there's some sabotage going into it. Stuart Sternberg to sell the Rays to a group led by Jacksonville developers, reports say. The Tampa Bay Rays are finally getting sold. Sean, what's your reaction to this?
So this is obviously just really quickly. The Rays, have a stadium issue. Some questions about whether or not they'll be able to stay in Florida, in the Tampa, St. Pete area as well. Apparently, the group that's buying them plans to keep them in the area. So, why is this a big deal from baseball's perspective? You had two teams that were really in flux, the Rays and the A's. Now we kind of have a sense of where these teams will be long term, which means baseball can now look at potential expansion because generally you're not going to expand when you have teams that may move. So that's why this is a big deal from a baseball perspective. So,
I mean, if we hold people up from like expanding for stuff, it's the team in Chicago, not baseball. Might need to go ahead. Go get you a payday real quick. Put Chicago in somebody else's hands. Next up on the list, Sean, Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson signs a 4-year, $130 million extension with the team. What's your reaction to it?
Not surprised. This was a priority, for the Jets. I think getting Garrett Wilson and getting Sauce Gardner re-signed this offseason were priorities. They're a big part of their present and their future, so makes a lot of sense to get them locked up.
Yeah, I think so. It makes a lot of sense to get them locked in. I'm gonna say not locked up.
Get his contract.
Get his contract out of here. Yeah, take care. No. I feel like the best receiver on the team, and it's like y'all ain't getting nobody else of this talent walking back through that door. So you better pay the young man. So well deserved. Will earn this money. Salute Trudy King in the building. Last segment of the day, then we gotta get up out of here. We doing the series of GOAT quarterback season. This week we are doing the AFC North. Comment down below what we do all AFC, right? Then we're gonna do all NFC.
Well, no, we can switch up. We don't have to stick to one. So
we'll figure it out. But if you want, we already did the AFC South. Comment in the comment section what division y'all want us to do next. We already did the AFC South, so now we can do the AFC North. So this is we picking out the greatest quarterback season for this franchise. All right. So comment down below what division you want us to do next. What division you want us to do next? First up, Sean, Baltimore Ravens. Who you got and what year you got?
So the Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Ravens don't have a long history. Obviously, I'm sorry. Let me just reemphasize the rules around this. So in order to qualify for this, the quarterback has to have played for the franchise at least 4 seasons. 4 seasons. Right, at least 4 seasons. If a quarterback plays for multiple franchises more than 4 seasons, they can only be used one time, right? So once they're used for a franchise, they cannot be used again for another franchise. All right. Winning the Super Bowl was great, but it is not a requirement to have the GOAT quarterback season for your franchise. It's great, but it does not necessarily mean you had the GOAT quarterback season for your franchise. All right. So
also, before we go to Astro Campbell, we doing the AFC North now. We doing the AFC North now. But we did the AFC South, so pick a different. Tiffany said NFC East. Okay, we got one vote for the NFC East. Tiffany already got her season too. But Baltimore Ravens first. Who you got? What year?
All right. So again, don't have a big history. Ravens are only about 30 years old, so don't have a long history. And when you look back, when I looked at their history, only really two guys could potentially qualify for this.
Flacco and the guy that's there now.
Right, yeah. So Joe Flacco was in the running in 2014, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3,986 passing yards. But that said, the GOAT quarterback season for the Baltimore Ravens is Lamar Jackson 2024. I know he won the MVP 2 other seasons. 2024 was Lamar Jackson's best season. You're talking about 66.7% completion percentage, 4,172 passing yards for an 8.8 average, 41 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions for a 119.6 rating, which is the 4th highest quarterback rating in NFL history, and 139 rushes for 915 yards and 4 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson 2024, greatest quarterback season in Baltimore Raven history.
I was stuck in between the two. I figured you was going to pick 2024, which is fine. It's understandable. I do think Lamar Jackson is way better than past. He's a great player. But I'm taking Lamar Jackson's 2019 season, the second season when he came on the season, took over the league, 36 touchdowns. Wait, looking at the yardage. Hold on one second. I'm giving you the yardage. Where did the yardage go? I'm sorry. 3,127 yards, 36 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. He burst on the scene, took over the league. Also, he had more rushing touchdowns than he did with 7 rushing touchdowns completely. I think because I picked this one is because nobody expected Lamar Jackson to be that good. He came on the scene, took over the Ravens, went 13-2, and smacked the league in his face. And people doubted him as a passer. He made all the passes he needed to make. His completion percentage is just as good as it was last season at 66%, but people don't talk about that season. So I'm taking Lamar Jackson's 2019 MVP sophomore season for me is the greatest Ravens season, for sure.
Okay, and of course Tiffany will tell you that mine is right. So that's neither.
Oh no, Tiffany no mine's right because his completion percentage is still the same. He just got as many touchdowns. Touchdown percentages was higher. More rushing touchdowns. 6 interceptions. When they said he couldn't throw, when they said he couldn't throw.
He threw for 4,000 yards last season. And again, people thought, he's not going to throw as much because they got Derrick Henry. He threw the ball better. He threw more touchdown passes than that 2019 season. He threw less interceptions than that 2019 season. And he still had almost 1,000 yards rushing, even though they had Derrick Henry. So I'm just saying mine is right and yours is second. But that's neither here nor there.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that because Bass still had more rushing touchdowns. This came when nobody expected him to be this great. They say he couldn't throw the ball. He came out through for 3,000.
I don't care what they
36 touchdowns. He threw for 36 touchdowns, Sean.
Yeah.
Well, they said my boy couldn't throw. Because
no, I don't care what they say.
Lamar Jackson, you got his polish.
I'm just telling you what is real. That's all I'm saying.
No, Sean ain't right, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Whose side you on? Next up, Sean. Cincinnati Bengals. And
So this
I already said I'm not picking nobody from no old era. I'm letting you know that right now. I'm not picking no.
All right. So just to be clear, Cincinnati Bengals again have a pretty long history here. They got some quarterbacks that had some really, really good seasons. When you talk about Joe Burrow last season, 2024, 4,918 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Carson Palmer in 2005 had 3,836 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Boomer Esiason in 1988 had 3,572 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. But the GOAT season for the Cincinnati Bengals is Ken Anderson, 1981. 62.6%. I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to be right on this as well. 62.6% completion percentage, 3,754 yards passing, 7.8 per average, 29 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. but he was the MVP of the league that year. That's why it's the GOAT season for the Cincinnati Bengals. He was that good, and they were also in the Super Bowl that season. They lost to the Niners. Ken Anderson was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in the early 80s, and that is the GOAT season for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ken Anderson, 1981.
See, I was really fighting with Joe Burrow for a couple because I'm not putting kids. I'm not putting the old guys up here. But if you really want to be, if the GOAT season was last year with Joe Burrow.
It was not. They weren't
70% completion rate. All the defense was god awful. Sean, he threw for 43 touchdowns, almost 5,000 yards. Are you crazy?
How is that crazy when they weren't in the playoffs?
It said great quarterback season.
No, hold on. And hold on. I'm sorry, hold on. Then Ken Anderson won the MVP that year. He was the MVP of the league. Joe Burrow was the MVP of the league last year.
If you would know why, we just talked about a guy who just said a guy had the greatest season in his franchise history to stop Joe Burrow, and the Bengals lost with one of the worst defenses in the league. He kept them afloat. It was him. It was only him.
We're not talking about the defense. We're talking about the GOAT quarterback season. And again, Boomer Esiason, another MVP season. So that's what I'm saying. Like we got to put some respect on. If you want an MVP, that matters in this. That's why I said Ken Anderson. And again, if you ask I'm talking a long-time Bengal fan, they will probably tell you Ken Anderson in 1981. It's not no slight against Joe Burrow last year, but they got to the Super Bowl in 1981.
Okay, so even if I can say you take away that season, right? What about the season when Joe Burrow led them to the Super Bowl? He still put up crazy numbers, 70% completion ratio, over 4,000 yards, just 30 touchdowns instead of 43. So I can give that when he took them to the Super Bowl.
Right, and his individual season last year was better than the year they went to the Super Bowl. However, they have an MVP quarterback season who went to the Super Bowl.
Look, man, he got player of the year that year, but I get the MVP. He said Andy Dalton led the Bengals to how many win the season row? Not a lot. I can tell you that for sure. I think Boomer won MVP in 88 also. He did. All right, Sean, this one, I feel like it's every division we're going to go through is going to be like one atrocious team in there with. This one was hard. I truly don't know, but I think the obvious is probably the obvious answer. But I want to hear who you got. I don't want to pick an old person.
Well, so again, we gotta stop saying old. Okay, like there's the modern era of the NFL, Super Bowl. We're talking about in the Super Bowl era. But the Browns obviously have a very long history going back some time. People in the running like Otto Graham, 1947. Otto Graham, 2,753 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Otto Graham was one of the really proponents of the forward passing game that we see now revolutionizing today's NFL. Frank Ryan in 1966, 2,974 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Bernie Kosar in the strike-shortened season in 1987 had 3,033 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Baker Mayfield in 2020, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,563 yards passing. But their GOAT quarterback season is Brian Sipe, 1980. 60.8% completion percentage, 4,132 yards passing for a 7.5 average, 30 touchdowns, 14 interceptions for a 91.4 rating, and he was the league MVP.
For me, this was the team when I was like, bro, I didn't want to pick on my own. I was just like, this team trash. I picked Otto Graham best season. I really did. I think it was 1952 was the one that I picked. Whatever his best season, that's what I picked. I was just like, this quarterback tier of Browns history is kind of trash, Sean. So I didn't really care too much when I was really looking into this team. I'm not going to even lie to you. I was just like, I almost picked. I was like, I wanted to troll you, but we was already going at it with the last one. I was going to just pick Baker Mayfield just to troll, and I knew you was going to be like, you have lost your mind. But
no,
the Browns trash.
But Baker Mayfield in 2020 was really good. He was really good. It wouldn't have been a troll. Yeah, he was really good in 2020.
Yeah, Otto Graham was nice.
Yeah.
Next up, man, last but not least, The Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you got? I got I got like two. I was stuck between two.
Yeah, so
but I think we got the same person. There's only one answer, right? Terry Bradshaw, right?
No, it's not Terry Bradshaw. But Terry Bradshaw was in the running. He did have a season, 1978, where he was 2,915 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. Actually won the league MVP that year, but that was a very much an anomaly season for many different reasons, which we can talk about at a later time. Neil O'Donnell in 1995, 2,970 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Keep in mind, the Steelers have largely been a team that wants to run the football.
Yes.
And that's how
hurt the opposing quarterback either way.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. So you got that. So, their quarterbacks necessarily aren't going to put up the greatest numbers, particularly in that era. But the GOAT season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, quarterback season for the Pittsburgh Steelers is Ben Roethlisberger 2014. 67.1 completion percentage, 4,952 passing yards, 8.1 average, 32 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for a 103.3 rating. He had another season that was, kind of similar. I just went with this one just because of the high completion percentage and the single-digit interceptions with 30-plus touchdowns.
You're talking about 2018, right?
Yeah, 2018 was that other season that was like that. But I just went with this season, 2014, Ben Roethlisberger.
I picked that same season as you over 2018 because of their record. That's it, really. But I definitely have to agree with you. 2014, Ben Roethlisberger was a beast during that year. So I'm not going to argue with that. I definitely 100% agree with you on that. So yeah, that's our quarterback season. I got to start writing. I got to go back and look, so we can have it right now. I want to make like a picture for it when we have the list. And we also got to start scratching names off. But I think usually with the quarterbacks, it's only like a couple players that's like really been great on multiple teams. So I think we might be good.
I think we might be good. But there was a couple where I wanted to, really just be clear because some guys played, 4 seasons for more than one team. So, yeah. So nobody else comment division. Tiffany picked again. Next week we go to the NFC East. Can I just make an audible here? Not that the NFC East isn't cool, but can we do either the North or the NFC or West instead?
Let's do the NFC West. All right, you want to get Dak Prescott his flowers as the greatest Cowboy quarterback ever?
Well, I just whatever.
Okay, we can do NFC West. NFC West will be next week. NFC West will be next week. 7-4, Sean, what you got?
7-4. I'm gonna.
If not, you got to use the number 7 or 4.
7-4. I'm gonna go with Fred Dean. The Niners legend, Fred Dean, Hall of Famer.
I don't got a number for 74, so I'm gonna pick one of the numbers in. I'm gonna actually go with a crazy number 7 pool. I'm gonna go with Jermaine O'Neal for 7 and 4 Joe Dumars. So there you go, right there. That's how I do. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe, and then join the Real Take So Fake Day movement. We will see you guys next week, and we out. Peace out. Somebody else asked for the NFC East. Like, y'all love the NFC East so much.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to them. We'll get to them.
We got to save it for last. People are gonna be arguing Jalen Hurts was best. You know what I'm saying? Or Dak Prescott. Oh God. All right, man. Appreciate you guys. Be Sean. We out. See you guys next time. Peace.
Real Take So